My son is Rudy Alejos, and with Any Baby Can, we have created the ABCs of safety. When I think about fire safety and why it's important, I think about myself 10 years ago. I was like a lot of people who sat home, watched the news, and saw stories, horrible stories of fires or emergency situations, and thought, well, that's them. I don't think this is going to happen to me. And it did. When the fire happened, I had no plan. I couldn't even tell you how to work a fire extinguisher. And one moment I had my son, and the next moment I didn't.
Wow. And that was Abby Ekmark talking about her 6-year-old son, Rudy. Tomorrow marks 10 years since he died in an apartment fire. And Ekmark is hoping to turn her son's tragedy into a lesson for families. She started Rudy's Legacy campaign, the ABCs of Safety. So joining us live this Sunday morning to tell us more is Elise Bernal. She is the president and CEO of Any Baby Can. First of all, good morning, Elise. Thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning, Henry. Thank you.
So I want to start off just by, kind of the basics here. What exactly is this campaign? Give us the nuts and bolts here.
So as you heard earlier, this is all started in honor of Rudy, who would have been 16 this year. The tragedy that happened with Rudy was because he was scared, and a child on the spectrum has sensory overload, and during an emergency situation, they revert back to what makes them comfortable, maybe going to a closet, hiding under a bed. One of the things that our friend Abby Ekmark wanted to make sure after Rudy passed away was that no other family would have to go through or suffer the tragedy of what they went through simply for just not knowing how to go about preparing for something like this. So what this campaign is all about is for 50 families who will create a fire safety plan and submit that to Any Baby Can, we will provide a free safety toolkit, which also includes a fire extinguisher. It's actually very simple, Henry. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You can literally put this on a piece of scratch paper on a napkin, put a very simple blueprint of your house, mark the exit points, and then talk about with your children and your family what you would do in the case of a fire, where you would go once you make it out.
Something simple that yet so important that could save so many lives. And we know that Rudy was diagnosed with autism before he died. So at least how does that make dealing with emergencies even more challenging for families who have children with special needs?
Thank you for saying that, Henry. It's extremely important. Safety planning for every family is important, but especially when you have children on the spectrum or who have special needs. They may not be aware of the breadth of the situation because of that. So when you practice and when you go over and role play and they can see it visually, you're talking about saving lives. When an emergency situation like that happens, with all of that sensory overload that happens for the child, they can go back and remember what was practiced with the family. And again, sometimes they will want to hide in a closet, under a bed. In Rudy's case, he ran away from his mother, Abby, back into the apartment and hid in a closet because that was what safety looked like for him. So this is why Abby and the organization, our organization, Any Baby Can, are working so hard to make parents aware of the situation, but also you don't have to do this alone. We've got free trainings. This campaign is a way to bring awareness and help you figure out how to do this with your family.
Well, we appreciate the work that you do, Elise, and of course the mission for Abby as well. She continues Rudy's legacy. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks, Henry.
Take care. And of course, we have all the details about this at kins5.com.